And Dalton, unfortunately for me, as a Penn State fan, they are playing at the same exact time as the biggest game of the year, but this is still a really, really good game. That is number 19 Illinois at number 9 Penn State, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC. Storylines to know, pretty simple. These are two undefeated teams in the Big Ten that are squaring off right now. Nittany Lions, 3-0 record, that's to be expected, right? They started the year as the number 8 team in the AP poll, and so far they've played 3 schools who are currently outside the top 50 of PFF's power rankings in West Virginia, Bowling Green, and Kent State. Illinois, their 4-0 start is way more surprising. They haven't had a 4-0 start, Dawn, since the 2011 season, and they entered this year with a win total at only 5.5. So Illinois is 2 wins away from surpassing their preseason win total. And Illinois, Dawn, I don't know if you knew this, they have 2 top 25 victories. Kansas was ranked at the time. Nebraska was ranked at the time. The only other school who has 2 top 25 victories so far is Tennessee. So Illinois has really been one of the biggest surprises in college football. Obviously, it's their biggest test yet this Saturday night against Penn State in Happy Valley. But honestly, it's a really, really fun matchup that we didn't think we'd be previewing right now. We thought Illinois would kind of another rough year, maybe not make a bowl game. Funny line named Brett Bielema, they're proving us all wrong right now, and they got a 4-0 start right now.
Yeah, Brett Bielema's doing a hell of a job over there.
Yep.
I mean, to get those 2 wins, especially the one last week, what a crowd in Nebraska. Dylan Raiola playing his ass off. I mean, what a great quarterback duel we had last Friday between him and Altmaier came out winning it. You've got an Illinois team that's feeling it, and I think, look, Brett Bielema's been doing it for a long time at several different programs, and he's been just really good at all of them. I can even remember back to the Wisconsin days, man. It was fun to watch his teams, and it's fun to watch this Illinois team play right now. This is the other game of this set that I don't understand the spread at all. I believe
not at all.
Penn State's a 17 or 17.5 point favorite.
17.5, yep.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be fun. If Penn State could mess around and lose this game, absolutely.
They could.
Illinois plays really good, sound, aggressive defense. Luke Altmaier, look, we talked about it on Sunday. We talked about it in the preview last week. These 2 new offensive tackles that Illinois got, J.C. Davis from New Mexico and Melvin Priestley at right tackle from Grambling, they've changed this whole team. They have changed the entire team, and I know they got Sakari Franklin and Pat Bryant at receiver too, but those 2 offensive tackles, there was so many plays last year where it was just, I flip on Illinois tape, and their offensive line just didn't give them a chance at all. These 2 tackles have come in and changed the entire program. They've changed the offense. In turn, you change your offense, you start scoring, you change your defense, and everything starts rolling together. So I really like what Illinois is doing. I would just about guarantee this game I don't think they're getting beat by at least 17.
No, I don't think so either.
I think that is I just disagree with that. You mentioned a win, and both of those top 25 wins on the road.
Yeah, true.
I mean, just spectacular. Tennessee didn't even do that. One was road, one was neutral.
Yeah,
and that neutral was leaning pretty heavily towards them. It seemed like. So, look.
You see that, Eli? You're frauds. That's what Dalton's saying right now.
Easy now. We don't have to. We'll get to Eli. We'll get to Eli later. No, I mean Illinois though, they're playing really good football, and if Penn State messes around and they mess around with and they're playing better too. I think they're playing better than last year too, but this is going to be a fun game.
I cannot wait. So, Dawn, you have the Penn State offense in this game. What should we be looking out for when Drew Aller and the Nittany Lions have the ball?
I've learned that anytime I get to highlight Andy Kotelnicki, it's a fun time. He's just such a good – this is a genius-level play caller. And you go, there's so many things that we were worried about coming into the year with Penn State's offense, and – it feels like he's fixing all of them, doesn't it? You know better than anybody, right?
He's fixing them, yeah.
You know, he is fixing them for sure. So, one thing I wanted to know. Illinois, super famous, super aggressive on defense for five-man fronts, cover one, single high defenses. It's 1 or it's 3, and they're blitzing, and they're really aggressive, and they can press up on you, and it's okay, cool. You're playing in the Big Ten. You're Penn State. Okay, you don't run 5 wide receivers out there every play. You use tight ends, and you got 2 good backs, big offensive lines. So what do they see a lot? A whole lot of single high defenses, right? Here's what I wanted to know: how are they looking against single high defenses? How's Kotelnicki working around this? How's Drew Aller working around this? Okay, so I went back to last year first. Against single high defenses, Penn State 68th in team offensive grade, 77th in passing grade and EPA per play. 107th in receiving grade.
Wow.
And I know they were 107th in receiving grade in a lot of things, and they had issues catching the football last year. This year, against single high defenses, which they're still seeing a lot because they still run the ball a lot with Allen and Singleton, and people are disrespecting their receivers, and you got Tyler Warren playing well, and Harrison Walls playing well, right? Against single high defenses this year, 7th best offensive grade, 23rd passing grade, number 1 in receiving grade.
Wow.
Penn State, number 1 in something in receiving grade, and 3rd in EPA per play. Andy Kotelnicki does such a great job. 1, he runs more motion than any team in the country.
Yep.
All right. 2, the formations and the full shifts of formations. And we've gone through even the times, the only time he doesn't motion, right, is when he gets a personnel look that he wants or some look on defense that he wants, and he'll leave the same personnel out there, and he'll just run the play that he wants to, right, and in 15 seconds, right? All of those things combine to pretty much stretch the back end of a defense, both vertically and horizontally. It's maybe the best thing that he does, pre-snap and post, is use every square inch of the field. And if you're in single high and you've got 3 back there, or you're in man coverage and you've really got to just keep covering, especially if we're pass protecting, you have to cover all that ground. It's just difficult, no matter who your weapons are. And we talked about at Kansas how they didn't have NFL receivers at Kansas, but they were, 3rd in the country in receiving grade last year? They just punch above their weight class. Now Kotelnicki moves up in weight class. He's running this like Big Ten version. Like at Kansas, it was a little more spread out. He's running this Big Ten version. You mentioned Tyler Warren. There's multiple tight ends playing. I think I saw, what number was it? Did I see a number 75 or something motioning from the slot to crack somebody? Like, he's using the personnel that he has, and even in that heavier personnel. So a lot of what defensive personnel and looks and play calls are based off of is just what offensive personnel is out there. So if Penn State has 22 personnel out there, right, 2 backs and 2 tight ends, let's say it's Allen and Singleton and Warren and I forget the other tight end. I always forget his name. Either way, another tight end out there. Well, the defense usually responds by going, okay, we're going to get in base and we're going to run single high, and they got heavy stuff going. But he's beating that, and he's finding ways to beat that. And Aller's ripping the ball through single high coverages. They're making plays at receiver. They're making plays at tight end. Tyler Warren's their leading receiver right now. This is a big part. There's a lot of things they've improved on, but to be able to, and still run the ball through single high looks too when the box is loaded. Allen and Singleton are running the hell, especially Singleton is running the hell out of the ball right now. They have found this, and if this continues, now Illinois is a better defense than they've played so far
by a lot.
Certainly better than Westfire, Bowling Green, or
Kent
whatever.
State,
But at the very least, they've gone out against those defenses, and they have scored a lot of points. Which last year, not entirely sure they would have done that. That Bowling Green game last year, they might have lost.
Yeah,
honestly, with the way they
almost lost to Bowling Green again this year.
Well, right, but I'm saying, like, when Bowling Green got ahead, at least you felt like Aller and Kotelnicki could get him back in it. Fair. I don't know if that would have been the case last year with Aller and how really vanilla their offense was. There's so much in it, and for the purpose of beating this specific defense, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch Andy Kotelnicki and Drew Aller work against this Illinois defense that's super aggressive.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Dawn, my matchup I'm looking for. By the way, Penn State being number 1 receiving grade for anything based off how they looked last year in the receiving core is amazing.
You're in a good mood now, aren't
man,
you?
That made me so happy seeing that. But my matchup to watch on the other side of the ball is pretty simple, is can Illinois give Luke Altmaier time against this Penn State pass rush? Because if you look just at the PFF grades, Dawn, Luke Altmaier has been one of the most improved quarterbacks in all of college football. In 2023, he had a 69.4 grade. That was 96th in the country. This year, he has an 86.9 PFF grade. That is 18th in the country. And while you can say, yes, he has improved, I will say that. But the biggest reason for that jump, Dawn, is the fact that Illinois drastically improved in pass protection. Last year, Illinois was 117th in the country in pass blocking grade, currently tied for 35th in pass blocking grade this year. And Luke Altmaier is a guy who really performs at an elite level when kept clean. Right now, 93 grade when kept clean. That is 4th among all quarterbacks in the country. But he's still kind of the same guy under pressure. He has a 43.2 PFF grade under pressure. That's 103rd in the country. So really, this is kind of the same Luke Altmaier we saw last year, where he was under pressure a lot last year and wasn't very good under pressure, and it's why his PFF grade overall wasn't great. The reason why his PFF grade is a lot better this year is because he's not under pressure as much as he was last year, which is why he's doing so well now. Penn State's defensive line has 2 top 150 prospects in the draft in Abdul Carter and Denai Dennis Sutton, both of them edge defenders. Abdul Carter currently a top 15 prospect on Trevor Sickman's big board. Find at PFF.com, by the way. Right now, the Nittany Lions are 10th in the FBS in pass rushing grade at 79.4, even though Abdul Carter hasn't been great to start the year. So if he gets it going, they could be even more unblockable, honestly. So this will give Illinois' offensive line their toughest test yet. If they can block them, I think Luke Altmaier and those receivers, like Pat Bryant and everyone, they could beat Penn State secondary, or at least put up a really good fight against them. But if Penn State's getting home every single play, then I think Luke Altmaier and this offense, they really have no chance to succeed. And we'll see, like last year, the Illinois offense just stalled out against Penn State and couldn't do anything. That was because they got pressure on him all the time. That's what you can see in this game if they get a lot of pressure on Altmaier. But if they protect him, then Illinois' got a real shot in this game.
You're absolutely right. And look, Illinois, it can't be said enough. Their pass protection last year was so bad that it got him hurt. It got him a concussion. He missed the last 3.5 games. So, I mean, and the improvement that we're seeing from them is what gives them a chance in this game. And you mentioned Altmaier being 4th in clean pocket passing grade. I think, if I remember right, the 3 guys ahead of them, I believe, ahead of him, I think are Cam Ward, Thomas Castellanos, and Jackson Dart.
Dart is up there. I think Trevor Sanders is up there too.
I think Sanders might be a spot behind him. I think it's Ward, Castellanos, and Dart.
I think it was a group of 5 too. I got to look it up.
And if Shedeur is in that, I mean, but this is the type of company you're talking about.
Yep.
Altmaier, when he's
like Heisman Trophy candidates.
I watched significant tape on like 85 or 90 quarterbacks in the summer, just getting through all my quarterback previews. And he was one of the hardest evaluations because it was so many plays that I just went, this is like a 1.5 second sack. Like I can't even judge what he's doing because he can't get to a spot to do anything, right? Altmaier's playing really good football. When he's clean, he gets the ball out on time, he gets it to the right spot, and I was so impressed. You know, again, we talked last week that Nebraska-Illinois game was going to be about quarterback composure. Super composed in that environment, man, and 2 teams that were throwing haymakers at each other in that game. Altmaier was so good, so calm in the pocket in that game, and if he's allowed to be that in this game, Illinois gets really, really dangerous.
Yes, I'm looking it up right now. Jackson Dart, number 1, Thomas Castellanos, number 2, and Cam Ward, number 3, and then Luke Altmaier, number 4, in clean pocket passing grade this year. So really been impressive what he's done when he has a clean pocket. We'll see if he has a clean pocket against Penn State in this night game in Happy Valley. So, Dolan, who is winning this night game in Happy Valley, and does Penn State cover the massive 17.5-point spread they have right now?
I do not think they cover. Yeah. I think 17 is too much. I'm not in on that. Illinois has a good defense. When their offensive line's playing well, they have a good offense, and they have some balance, too, in their run game. I will take Penn State. I think they're the better team still, and I think, again, Andy Kotelnicki might be – we mentioned it with Kirby Moore last year was our guy, right, at Missouri as like the most consequential coordinator hire, and he turned around Missouri's offense. This year, that's Andy Kotelnicki. He's calling a spectacular game every week on offense. Actually, I'm more impressed so far with Penn State's offense than their defense, if I'm being honest with you.
Yep.
I think him and Aller, as long as Aller, because the one thing we know with Drew Aller, he's not going to turn the ball over. He doesn't turn the ball over. He has some misses. The accuracy comes and goes for sure. But if he can create those windows and against man coverage, so often when you're trying to beat man coverage and you don't have just an elite receiver, right, a Tetral McMillan or a Luther Burden or something, you do have to create. But I have faith that Andy Kotelnicki is going to create enough points to get ahead in this game. I think the pass rush for Penn State will do enough. I think Illinois up front is really going to compete. I think they're going to have their moments in this game. I've got Penn State 30 and Illinois 24.
Yeah, honestly, I also think they're going to cover pretty easily. I think Penn State's going to win. I have it 28-21 in this one, but I just don't see why Illinois. I mean, I could see Penn State maybe just in a really good environment in Happy Valley, a night game. And if they get pressure on Altmaier, it could get ugly for Illinois. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't happen, I don't see why they should be 17.5-point favorites right now. I think that's a very, very high spread. So I think Penn State's going to win, but it's going to be a much closer game than the odds makers anticipate. And Dawn, the last time that these two played in Happy Valley, It was a 9 overtime game. They actually set the record for most overtimes in a single college football game, and that was when they had to go back and forth with the 2-point conversions. And quite literally, I've never seen two offenses that didn't convert 2-point conversions. Like, they missed like 8 in a row, each of them. It wasn't like they would keep doing it.
If we're being real, last year neither one of them was a great offense in regulation. So even
I don't even know. I think a couple years ago, Sean Clifford's the quarterback. I remember.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Maybe that
broke my heart. It broke my heart watching that game, and my brother and my uncle were at that one. 9 overtimes. It won't be the thriller like that one, but I do think Penn State's going to win in a close one, 20-21.
Unless it is, and they're just playing until 3 a.m.
Oh, I'm not. I can't do that.
No,
that'd be horrible for us for our review prep.
Can't handle the stress
if
of
I'm up until 4 a.m. watching that. Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
No.
But no, I think I do. I think unless Penn State's pass rush comes out this week at an elite level, this is going to be a fun game. It's going to be a tight one.
Absolutely, which is crazy that we're gonna have that and Georgia Alabama at the same time. Oh man, we have to be here because we have to have multiple screens.
You're gonna be hurting. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna watch as a Penn State fan. I don't know what game I'm gonna watch.
That's why you have me. It's fine. I'll watch. I'll watch Georgia. I'll watch Georgia Bama for you. What a task! What an awful task that is.
Fair enough.